Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. What I like about being legally married. Legally married. Please leave comments today on Love Beyond the Sea. I have a channel here that talks about relationships, and a lot of people have a relationship and they consider themselves married, but they really aren't. In their mind they do, but I want to talk about the real marriage. Now, for example, we have been in the Philippines a bunch of times. My wife and I, who knows, possibly could live there someday. And there are a lot of Westerners out there who have sexual relationships, as far as we know, with younger Filipinas, but they aren't married. It's always a good thing when I see somebody actually get married, because to me that's the real commitment in a relationship, is that legally you can't go anywhere, I guess, without consequences. A lot of people have a girlfriend, or let's say the girlfriend has a boyfriend, and they act like they're married. I'm not single anymore. One single woman told me, well, she was single, she had a boyfriend, but she was somehow in some other category. But there is no substitute for marriage, and legal marriage in front of witnesses. Do it legally. Have people that hopefully will keep you accountable to the vows that you made. But sex pats, no, I don't count those as really challenging relationships, because they can leave anytime they want, even if you've been together every day for 5 years. You can go find somebody better, and so can they. Absolutely, and they should, because there's no legal reason for either one to stay with the other. So what are people afraid of? Well, of course, divorce. Divorce rates have gone up, and we all know people, if it hasn't been us ourselves, who have endured the tragedy of a divorce. And it goes beyond the monetary issues there, just the emotional issues, and it's just a tough thing to endure. And so that's very, very expensive. But even if they removed all the costs, I don't know if that would change. I mean, the fact that one person wants to try to ruin another person's life just indicates that's kind of who they are, and they probably would do it without even a big payday. But the financial loss is a big thing, but that's not the only one. You lose your children and belongings and so on. But of course, when you can't find a stable relationship if you're still smarting from a divorce, a painful divorce. So a person has to go all in, or they're gonna keep one foot in the water and one out, because things might get tough, and then they need to get out. So they stay in that safe zone. I guess I'm saying I'd rather be in the so-called unsafe zone. So what I like, one thing is, we have to make it work. We have to keep it together, and I make no bones about it. I think that onus or burden is on the husband, and to do the things he needs to do to keep that together. And in my over 1,200 videos, like on YouTube, and I've got many more I can make, and talk about the inner workings of a relationship with a Filipina, and these things I say would work for anybody. We must make it work. We all have days where we don't quite feel as strong as healthy as we'd like to be, and it's really cold out. Like it could be 0 or 10 below. Sometimes it gets that way here in Nebraska, and you just don't want to go to work. And if you didn't have to, you wouldn't go to work, but you do, because you have to, because there's consequences if you start staying home and not working. And so I don't look at it as pressure. It's just responsibility. The things I say, the things I do, the things I allow, the things I demand or whatever, has to be for the good of our relationship. And If I'm struggling with something, I need some ideas, I know who to talk to, but I better find out how to handle this so I can keep it together. I also like with legal marriage that I'm building something. Every day, I care about this relationship, and I look at it as if we are going to be together until one of us dies. I don't really say, well, look at the divorce rates, or I just say whatever happens, we've got to work it out, we've got to communicate, and we've got to stay together because we're building something for a long term. I want my wife to look back fondly when I'm gone over this marriage, and when I'm older, in decline, I want to be able to know I still have this woman with me that I married in only 54 days. Back in 2015, met her on Christian Filipina, and we got married quickly, engaged on day 18, and we've been married about 7.5 years. So I guess the philosophy I have has paid off. Even the challenges are positive things. I look at them as positive things. I mean, if two people are just living together and they've known each other a long time, what if something happens to the other person, and you can help them or save them or rescue them with a huge financial commitment or sacrifice of time and the things you want to do in your life? Well, you wouldn't probably do that if you weren't legally married. But when you're legally married, you have to. And that's good, because people are people are people. If there's a way out, we'll look for it when we don't feel like we're getting what we deserve. So I just like I hate to use the word pressure, I don't think that's it, the responsibility of having to stay together. That's why we are legally married. Let me know your thoughts here today. It's for better or worse with my love beyond the sea.